show you what I did to help build my following on YouTube and the podcast. I'm really excited, so let's jump in. I keep my send email up and I copy paste it into a new message. My subject is, oh no, I did, let's build each other up. Okay. So in this email I have, you were on my podcast. Here is the link to reshare your episode. If you'd like to have a second interview, just click the link below. It's in the signature of my email. So let's go into that. So Libsyn is where I host my podcast. So I'm in here and I'm looking at, this is the next one in line. So I have like 50 on a page, 3 pages, and I know I've done this one last, so I'm going to Bridget Deneen. So that just gives me the person I'm looking for. Then I go onto the podcast page that Libsyn has, and in the search bar I search Bridget. I want her podcast to pop up. I click on it so that I have the link from my podcast page where Libsyn is. This is a couple things though. One, it gives a URL, so I can click this, copy it, go back into that email right here. I can change that out for Bridget's unique podcast link. And then I'm going to also write, if any show notes need to be updated. Okay, that should be working. So let me know if any show notes need to be updated. In my show notes, I put links to people's websites, their Instagram, basically anything my guest gives me, I put in the show notes. So I've got all their information right here. So I right click and open a new tab, and I go into that tab. And here's a great thing. I have about 120 podcast guests, but when I go into their information, I remember every single one of them, and it genuinely makes me smile. I'm happy to see them again, to kind of relive and remember their podcast interview. So on here, I'll scroll down to the bottom. Usually they have links to social media. She does not on here. So I'll go to About, and shout out to Bridget, who gets extra exposure by being on this video. And I'm not seeing it. I'm going to go to her blog. There are usually pages that have more. Oh, yeah, here we go. Follow me. So this is what I'm going to do on Bridget's. I'm going to go to Facebook, and I love it when things open in a new tab. That makes it much easier for me. I'm going to make sure if I haven't followed her that I do follow her. Okay, I have. I've liked her. So I've already followed her on Facebook. I'm going to look at Instagram. I don't do much with Twitter, so I don't worry about that one as much. Okay, her Instagram page isn't found. So I'm going to go back to the email. I followed you on Facebook. I didn't see. I will subscribe to her podcast. I'm going to put here your Instagram page from the website. Okay. Learn to type, Jen. So I'm going to let her know. I tried to follow the link to Instagram and it didn't go there. I have found, so I've done about 60 out of the 120 of my podcast guests this way. And I found several issues with some links and stuff on their websites the thing that happens is that we run our website, I run my website, and I honestly would have no idea if a link somehow was not working well because I'm not in there checking it. So I'm always really thankful if someone's on my website and they notice something's wrong, that they let me know because I wouldn't find it. Okay, so is her podcast called, her podcast is called Guts and Grace. So I'm going to go here to iTunes and it has to be in the app. Okay, it popped up. I'm going to search her podcast. I'm going to find her show. I will subscribe. Okay, and I'm looking. Now, the thing about leaving a review is that it doesn't have to be some big, long thing. I have worked with Bridget in the past. I don't keep up on every single person's podcast and newsletter, and I do keep up on Facebook and Instagram. And I want to follow and support them and leave a review. And I'm being very genuine about the review. I've talked with her. I really love Bridget's energy. I enjoyed the podcast interview. She happened to be the next one that I was getting ready to look at, so I will leave a very genuine review. But when you're reviewing a podcast, iTunes doesn't make it super easy to do this. It's not super hard, but it's slightly a pain in the ass. And so I want to make sure I'm leaving a review and that it's 5 stars and that it's genuine. But it doesn't have to be lengthy. You don't have to listen to every single podcast episode. You don't have to listen to any podcast episodes, actually. So I actually, when I log on to people's podcasts, I do remember them. So I can leave a very genuine, quick, short podcast review. So I've done that. I'm going to go back to, I don't see any other way that I could support Bridget. But it does say, you are on my podcast. If any show notes need to be updated, I follow you on Facebook and subscribe to your podcast. I also have a review on the podcast. If there's a platform I can assist you with, please let me know. I'm happy to leave reviews. And I really am. Now, I'd love it if you would do the same. My goal is to support the people that have been on my podcast as guests because they are in the same boat as I am. We all are entrepreneurs, small businesses, and I really genuinely want to support people. Do I want to get a review and have that support back? Yes, I do. And if they were a guest on my podcast, I would think that they would want to do that because it in turn, it's like this awesome hamster wheel, right? We just keep revolving. I'm supporting them and they're supporting me and we're getting word back out. And as compound interest is my favorite thing to discuss, and you can compound joy, doing this has the ability to really catapult both of us and our numbers and our reviews. And I want that. I want the reviews and I want to be genuine about giving the reviews. So I'm doing this from a very genuine place, knowing that it's very possible she won't get on and leave a review, or it won't see her, or there's something wrong with the email address. And that's all right, because I've done my part in supporting. And as small entrepreneurs, whoops, forgot the recipient. Let's see. As small entrepreneurs, people who are out there, like, podcasts don't make us money. YouTube channels don't make a lot of us money. It's possible for both of them too. They're my 2 favorite platforms. And yes, I have a website, but you want to do what you can to build up the platforms that are the most important to you. So I'm asking. Now, when I do a podcast interview and you and I are on the Zoom video, I say, hey, when this releases, it's supposed to release on this date. If you need it to release on a different date, please let me know. I love accommodating guests. And then at the same time, I let them know, I'm going to post it to 32 platforms and put it out everywhere I can. Am I perfect or great at that? No. Do I do the best job that I know how? Absolutely. I'm going to post it everywhere I can. I want my podcast to grow. I want people to find your interview. Very genuinely, that is true. And then I want you to do the same. And I'll send you an email letting you know that. The podcast release, I send an email. Hey, it's releasing today at 6 a.m. I give you a list of all of the podcasts that it's releasing on, all of the platforms that it's releasing on. I let you know to do the same. I also ask, please leave a review on iTunes. And please subscribe on my YouTube channel and on any other social media. And I saw no growth. Since doing this, I went from 27 subscribers to 40 subscribers on YouTube. Still really, really low numbers, but I'm super thankful. And I've gotten 7 reviews from 3 on the podcast. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not a one and done. There is no magic wand. The 8 ball's like, it's possible in your future. But what I'm doing is I'm actually making an attempt to create more momentum by really going on to all of my guests and remembering them and being genuine and liking them. I can't expect people to leave subscriptions for me and support my podcast and YouTube channel if I'm not willing to do the same thing. So in that regard, compound interest, pay it forward, keep it. I love the theory of compound interest, and I use it in everything I do. By supporting people, being genuine, following them, liking them, subscribing, and leaving reviews, I'm asking them to do the same in turn. My goal is that we build each other up in the process, and I hope that you learn something, even if it's something small, on how to get this done for yourself.